The Bay County Jail wasn't just a shelter for inmates and staff. Major Rick Anglin opened the facility to employ family members as well.
One of the challenges that we face in this field, and that's the sheriff's office across the board, is we were required to, when there's a hurricane or any kind of emergency, we're required to be at work. But you still have families, you still have house.
Anglin estimates 50 to 60 employee family members stayed in the building, in addition to 1,165 inmates and 100 staff members. The jail bought food and supplies, but still didn't know how massive the storm would be.
We'll get through this hurricane, and 2 or 3 days later, things will kind of go back to normal, and the families will be able to go home, and as this thing got bigger, it really it wreaked havoc.
One challenge for the jail was some of the families and staff inside had nowhere to go after the storm.
Their houses were destroyed and they had nowhere to go. And the same with the staff. We had staff sleeping in the parking lot in their cars. We had a lot of staff sleeping in offices. We had plenty of provisions for the inmates. What I didn't anticipate was that I was going to have family members here for days after the hurricane and weeks.
Anglin says the jail building did exactly what it was designed to do, even though some air conditioning units were damaged on the roof.
That was a real clear indication when we saw the AC units blowing out onto the yard. We knew that it was bad. During the hurricane, it was it was pretty tough, but it was not, from a safety standpoint. I think anybody who was inside this jail was better off than the people in the community.
Anglin said no one knew how bad the damage was until they walked out the front door.
And we saw the just utter devastation out there. From the front of this jail all the way out to Star Avenue, there was probably 100 trees across the road.
Within a couple of hours, the road was clear, but there was a major problem behind the jail. The jail has a well water system they can use instead of county water. As maintenance workers went to the well, they heard a noise. A semi flipped over and broke a gas main.
And it was pumping gas inside of an enclosed storage container. And that was tense. You just basically had a massive bomb at that point.
Anglin was able to contact the Bay County EOC, and the main was crimped off. Sewage and water were then able to run into the jail. After the storm, the jail received a new roof, and all AC units were secured to withstand a Category 5 hurricane. Anglin said he was humbled by Hurricane Michael.
It's one of those situations that no matter how well you plan, no matter what your training's been, no matter how many years of experience you have, you're not going to cover everything. And you're not going to be prepared for that. It was too massive and too powerful.
Kayla Tucker, News 13, Panhandle Strong.